Jason, have you seen the show Taskmaster? It's a British TV show.
I've never actually watched the show, but I get clips of it, either like actual YouTube videos or like shorts or whatnot all the time. And I see like one of the activity. I don't know the structure of the show. I just know the bits, like the actual tasks, but I don't understand how they all tie together.
Oh, well, I mean, that's most of the show. I also was the same way. I started off with like clips and tasks individually, and then we got sucked into Taskmaster season 19, which just wrapped up like a month or two ago. The cool thing about Taskmaster is they put their full episodes on YouTube for free. Like you can just watch them on YouTube, so there's no barrier to entry for that. So we watched all of season 19, which had Jason Mantzoukas, who's an American actor, joining all of these British comedians as the contestants on this silly game show called Taskmaster.
Is there any point to watch the whole show versus just the clips of the individual tasks?
I forget. Do the individual task clips include the scoring?
No.
Okay, because the like the full show, the format of the show is that they start with they have five comedians, right? And they're usually, since it's a British show, they're kind of always British comedians, and they first have to bring in some object that fits some theme. So they might have some theme that was like object that's most likely to make you do a double take, or I don't know, whatever, favorite childhood memory or something. And so then the people bring in all this random stuff, and they have to basically spin it and sell it as like a, this is my whatever, right? And then the host of the show, the Taskmaster, the guy, his name is Greg in the UK series. He arbitrarily, I mean, it's kind of like Whose Line Is It Anyway? He like arbitrarily assigns points to these. So he's, the one he likes the best, he gives 5 points, and then second best is 4 and 3 and 2 and 1, right? And then the format of the show is there's these ridiculous tasks that they have the people do. And they're not like, dangerous or anything like that. But they are funny and kind of silly. And they have them do these things, and then they get points also by doing them, right? By doing them the best or doing them the most competently or whatever. And then at the end of the show, they have a final task, which is not usually a clip on YouTube. So that's something that they have them all just do something live on stage in the room, which is always kind of fun to watch too. So the cool thing about watching the actual like show, right, the full format show, it's only 45 minutes long, it's not a big commitment, is that you get to see like the banter and the interactions, and you kind of get to know the people over the season, and how they interact with the host, and then the host assistant guy Alex, how they interact together is just a really funny, like, I don't know, it's a funny format and a funny show, and you kind of get to know the people. So I would recommend, like, and season 19, I think, is a really good place to kind of jump into the full episodes, because a lot of the contestants are very funny, and the tasks are also pretty good. So season 19 Taskmaster, it's on YouTube. I've seen other people try to do this format like outside of the Taskmaster like TV show without the budget of like a TV show, and it just doesn't land.
I was going to say I'm surprised that there is not a US equivalent. They did The Office first too, and then we did The Office, and there's a lot of things that the US entertainment industry tries after the UK market, and I'm surprised that this isn't one of them, because I feel like the idea would work. I feel like someone would think the idea would work in the US, and they would try it. Maybe it has been tried and it didn't work, because I feel like this is one of those areas where like UK comedy and UK humor, like lends itself very well to a format of like this. And someone would be like, oh, we should try that in the United States. And I just don't think it would work the same.
They did try it in 2018 and it did not work at all.
Yeah, right. Okay. I'm glad I'm validated on that.
It was on Comedy Central, and they did it as a 30-minute format instead of an hour-long TV show format. And I don't know if it was the people that they got, or I don't know what the issue was, but yeah, something about the style of humor or the something, it just did not work. which is, kind of a shame, but whatever. There's also a Taskmaster New Zealand, which is also on YouTube. You can find the Taskmaster NZ. They've only got like 5 or 6 seasons that you can watch on YouTube. So I guess maybe it's just people with British-like accents that do better. I don't know.
Sure. Just group those all together.
Yeah, why not, right? Yeah, sure. Anyway, it's very funny, but it doesn't work without the, I don't know, the whatever it is, the magic that is Taskmaster, the UK show. And they do it at this like one little house. They've got this house somewhere in the UK, and it's like the Taskmaster house, and they have all these ridiculous decorations and stuff in it and stuff. It's just it's very cool.
I will have to try it out. We're currently watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but that might be a after that is over.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Jason Mantzoukas is on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
He is.
Haven't watched it, but I think he's on there.
Yes. Yeah. No, I knew who you were talking about right away, and he is. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's not like a major character, but he's definitely a reoccurring character.
Yeah. Apparently, the way the story goes is he asked the Taskmaster people to put him on the show. And they got him on like a Zoom call, and they were like, so here's the format of the show. This is what we do. We have people do that. He's like, no. I know. I called you. Like, put me on this show. So he came in, and he was very disruptive, I would say, to the whole Taskmaster situation, but in a good way. Like it makes for a lot of good like American and British jokes, like because the host and all the other people are British, of course, so they get to kind of make fun of him as the American, which is kind of fun. So anyway, it's very good, and season 19 is a good spot to start, and it's also like completely mindless television, right? So and it's just funny. So there's no stakes, there's no through line mostly. It's just very easy to watch. It's just a game show. Welcome back to Pride and Accomplishment. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jason. This is episode 159.
Jason, have you played any more Donkey Kong?
A tiny bit. Not as much as I played the first time, but I did play a tiny bit more. I just got to the next major level, and that's where I stopped. Okay. Have you finished Donkey Kong?
No, I have not. I think I have. I've talked to somebody, and I think I have 3 more levels to go.
Wow.
But I'm going on a trip soon, and I'll take my Switch with me, I think. And so that will be my Donkey Kong finishing trip, I think.
Have you played more since we talked?
Yes, I did play a little bit more. I got through the level I was in, and then halfway through the next level. So I'm getting there.
I feel like we should definitely follow up on it, but I feel like we should follow up on it when we're both done.
Okay, so we'll talk about it in 2028.
Okay. You're probably not wrong. Did you finish Kaizen?
No, I did not finish Kaizen. I have actually...
Oh, man, I thought you had finished this.
No, I have one more thing to do on the final build, if you will. I am taking it in chunks. I'm not sure if that's just because I'm thinking of it as difficult, like the final thing, or if I don't want it to end, which there's actually some bonus things that they added, so it's not over when it's over. But I think I've just been slow rolling it a little bit, and like when you were playing it and I was kind of waiting for you to kind of be done with whatever you were doing so we could talk about your solutions, I was chipping away at that final build. So I've still got a little bit left.
You're making it sound like you're building an entire factory.
No, not an entire factory. It's still an object, but it is a rather large object with many pieces.
Okay. I've gotten through a lot. I think on the last episode I said there were 6 acts. It looks like maybe there's 8.
I think there's 7.
7? Okay, I can't count. I think I just started the 6th one.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you're close. Because the 7th one, I mean, spoiler, the 7th one is one thing.
Oh, okay.
Or like the last one. The one I'm on now is just the one thing.
Got it. I didn't foresee when I started the game that they would move to different types of objects. I don't know why. I just didn't. I don't know. But you start with like...
just make toys? Yeah,
I thought it would be... I don't know, mostly electronics type stuff, but you go electronics and then you do like food. Like that was, I don't know, that was kind of weird, different. I guess it's a little bit of a spoiler if you care, but like you move into like clothing, which was cool. Like, I don't know. And the way they do it, obviously, is not actually how they build clothing. You're still using riveters and welders, but it's clothing. But it's, I don't know, it was cutesy almost that you're building clothing with these tools. And I have found, I don't know if you kind of found this groove, but I found like I like to attack things in a very almost a similar way every time, or I think about it in a very similar way every time, where I'm often flipping things over, like I'm rotating things completely over. And I have found that is a very almost repeatable attack vector on how to solve the problem. So it did get a little routine for me in some of them. I imagine that they will continue to get harder, and I won't be able to do that every time. But it's been good. It's been a lot of... I actually have been really enjoying the puzzles.
Yeah, they definitely start off really, really easy, and then they have a little bit of a bump, right, where you have to figure out that you can flip things over. And then there's a little bit more of a bump once they start to do things that need to be in the middle of things.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit more that comes when it starts to be like you have to do multiples of the things and attach them to each other, kind of a thing. Like here's 6 buttons that all have to go, together or whatever. And so you have to figure out how to, add a button and then move a thing, and then another button appears, but you have to attach it to the stuff. Anyway, it's a whole thing. If you play the game, you'll figure it out. But it's very cool.
I sent you my first GIF. I did something and I was very proud of it. And I was like, ooh, what is this make GIF button? And it worked really well.
Yeah, that's a really clever way to do a shareable thing. I need to get back in the game and show you the GIF of mine. Because it was interesting for me, because I remembered when you sent me that thing, I remembered exactly when I had done that. And I did it smaller. So I wanted to show off what I did.
I found that I have a lot of trouble with symmetry in the game. I don't know why my brain just doesn't work with how the game has set up like the grid, but like the whole flipping and all of that, I get it wrong over and over again. And I have to make sure that I'm thinking really hard about like, where is the line of symmetry in this object? I don't know why I'm having such trouble with it, but that has been like a difficult thing for me to wrap my head around, particularly with the grid and style of the objects. The objects are what really get me. Like a lot of time, like scale. I don't know if you've had this problem where you see it in the top right hand corner on like what you're supposed to build, and then you like put it on your board like to make it, and you're just like, okay, I need to do this, this, and this, and then you look at it and you're like, no, I've got the scale all wrong. I don't fully understand. Like I'm trying to compare the two pictures together. I wish the thing that showed you what you were supposed to build also had a grid behind it so that you could understand scale of the objects.
There's a button they added in an update, maybe since we've started playing, where you can actually check what you have against the design.
Okay.
And it will, I believe, it puts little X's over the squares where you are not matching. So maybe that's a way to do it.
Yeah, that would work too. I have also found myself later into the game caring less about doing it perfectly. Like I have found myself just being like, just do it. Just get it done. And if you don't like it, you can redo it. And I found myself a lot like just doing it, and then sometimes like saving that off, saying that's my first design, and then trying to improve on it. But a lot of times, by the time I'm done with the puzzle, I was like, oh my God, that was kind of a difficult puzzle. And I just move on.
Yeah, I did that with several of them, especially as time went on. But I will say that I played first, and then you and another one of our friends played after. And so now there are leaderboards. When I first played, there were no leaderboards. Like I didn't have any friend leaderboards to compete against. And now seeing what you're doing and like seeing the leaderboard results and stuff makes me go back and think like, can I optimize this just a little bit? And while we were talking the one time when we were like both streaming and stuff, I went back to a couple of designs I had done previously, and I refined them and improved them. Because of that, I saw on the leaderboard that like you guys could do it better. So there's like, I don't know if I would call that replay value, but it definitely is like you can go back to it and take it with fresh eyes, and that helps a lot, especially once you kind of have the pressure off of like, okay, I know there's a way to do this. Now let me see if I can do it better.
Did you mention that there are like ongoing puzzles for this? Is that after you finish the story? Like, are they releasing weekly or something like that?
They are releasing weekly, but I don't know what part of like what corner of the game they appear in. Like, I don't actually have them yet, and maybe it shows up after you beat them, but like they have little Steam news posts that say like new weekly bonus thing, and they've done 3 or 4 of them since they released the game 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I think they're doing it weekly, at least for a little while.
I could imagine that they only appear after you finish the game. They want to encourage you to do that first.
Right. Yeah. Do you think you're going to finish Kaizen? Like, do you think you're going to go back and like do all the puzzles, like get to the end?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I've been kind of, anytime I don't want to do something for a long time, like, I have 30 minutes. I've been sitting down and doing like 1 or 2, and it's been working out pretty well. I have found that I've started to skip or really, really skim the story. It kind of got old for me near the end. I was like, whatever. So I'm into the puzzle faster, which makes me, kind of enjoy playing a little bit. But I think so. I mean, I'm close. I should just finish it. I don't think it'll be a problem for me to finish this game. DK, I'm not going to promise before the end of the year.
Wow.
but Kaizen, I'll get there.
I'm going to be done with DK before the end of the month at this point, I think.
It's just long. It's a long game. Yeah, I need time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we don't have to talk about it for too long, but I do think we should acknowledge that EA came out with Battlefield 6 beta like during this episode and into next weekend, and it's been generating some buzz, let's say. I like to bring it up because I used to play a lot of Battlefield. Battlefield was my first-person shooter of choice. I played Call of Duty for a little bit, and then I really got into Battlefield. I played Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 3 a lot. So that I don't know. Chris, I don't know how close you follow it or how much you care. Probably not as much as I do, but it was very disappointing to see Battlefield 2042 do as bad as it did and be as bad of a game as it was. And it is very refreshing to see Battlefield 6 kind of return to that 2-3 era style, maybe a little bit of 4. Modern Battlefield. It's the setting is 2027, I think.
Oh wow.
So it's like very like right now modern kind of thing. And it's been I don't know, it's been nice to see positive news about this game. I will probably play it. I will probably wait for it to go on sale because they always go on sale. But I don't know. This is one of those ones where I'm like, okay, this is bringing back enough nostalgia for me where I'm watching it and I'm interested in it. And I will pick it up at some point, I'm sure. Although I think it'll also come to Game Pass because it'll be on EA Play and it'll come to Game Pass at some point. I just don't know how fast. But I don't know. Have you seen anything about it? Have you noticed this game at all, or is it only in my sphere?
The only thing that I have seen about this game is when somebody posted the Steam, it might have been you, posted the Steam chart that said oh my gosh, there's a bajillion people playing this game. I don't really care about this one. Battlefield is in the Call of Duty camp for me, where it's I would play it to play with friends, but I have no intrinsic interest on my own, to play this kind of game, which is, I don't know, kind of my thing, but I've never been super good at shooters. And so it doesn't surprise me that I don't like them. But I'm glad that people are excited, I guess. This is
The third most played game, on all of Steam this weekend, which I think is pretty impressive. That's it's a beta, right? And that's kind of why it's registering. So obviously, you've got the Counter-Strike, you've got the Dota 2, you've got the other stuff, but 500,000 people played the beta this weekend. So on Steam, and this is the key point, on Steam, where else are those other people playing? So the queues were long, I think for good reason. I think they moved pretty fast. However, I agree. I don't really play first-person shooters anymore. I'm not good at them. I'm not as fast as I used to be. I don't put the time into, like, I think one of the biggest things for first-person shooters, in my opinion, is map knowledge. Like understanding where the corners are and how the doors open up and how the rooms open up and where to look and where people can be coming from. In larger maps like Battlefield, like how to get from point A to point B quickly, how to, where the ridge lines are so that you're not like, silhouetting yourself against the background. Like those kinds of things really contribute to doing well without having to have precision aim. But anyone can do that. I think it's not like something that you lose when you get older, but it takes time. It just takes repetition in playing the game, and I don't have that kind of time to dedicate to a game anymore. So, it looks cool. I'm excited. I will play it, but and it's nice to see a return to what I consider the classic Battlefield, and for it to do well. But it's not going to be my primary game, and that's okay. What is going to be my primary game? I have played Warframe quite a bit leading up to TennoCon, and me being me, I am just a serial MMO hopper from one to the next. I got excited for some reason. I don't know what it was, but something brought me back to World of Warcraft for Season 3.
Yeah, you've been playing a lot of WoW this past week, and it's been very tempting. Like I mentioned, I'm traveling soon, so it doesn't really make sense for me to resub at the moment, but I definitely have been tempted to join you on this adventure back into the World of Warcraft.
I have seen a lot of things. Well, I think it's a couple of reasons. One, we're going to talk, I don't know, we'll just say it now. The details for the next expansion are coming up. So like they're going to do, I don't know what they're going to do, but they're not doing a BlizzCon this year. So they're making like a lot of their announcements, I guess, at Gamescom on August 19th. They said the next big reveal for World of Warcraft Midnight, which is the next expansion, is at Gamescom on August 19th. So there's a little bit of that, like, hey, the announcement's coming up, hype is building, kind of interested. But I have also heard that this season is supposed to be like comparatively very easy from like Mythic Plus. Oh. I've seen a lot of news on the raid being super cool. And as if other people are excited, it kind of leaks and, I kind of get excited too. And, overall, it's been some time and I'm trying again. I'm trying so hard to not primary tank, just build a DPS and play DPS, so that I can not have a whole lot of pressure and just go do things.
How's that working?
My DPS Warlock is the same eye level as my tank.
Okay.
So I've played them both, and anytime there is something going on in the world where I need to do them on one of my characters in my warband, I do it on my Warlock.
Wow. That's a step.
Delves and content is definitely way, way easier on my tank. So you might know this. You might just be like, yeah, that's the way it is, Jason. I never die on my tank. In open world, in delves, I just never die. You have health, you have defenses, you have, get out of jail buttons on your keyboard. You've got so many things to not die when you're playing a tank, because that's the whole point, is to not die. I constantly die on my Warlock.
I don't think that's just how it is. I mean, yes, you're right. You don't die as a tank, but you aren't supposed to always die if you are playing as DPS, like in open world or single player content.
I constantly underestimate. Sorry, well, maybe said a different way. I constantly overestimate my ability as a DPS in open world. Right? I mean, sometimes you're going up against an elite, and you're like, oh, it's just 2 elites. I can take 2. Right? And in a tank, I could take like 8. Right? Like you just whatever. I can heal through it. No big deal.
Yeah.
But as a DPS, I was like, I can take 2, right? I'll DPS 1 down really fast, and then I'll focus on the other. Nope, can't do it. I mean, maybe I'm just not good enough, but like, I don't know. I constantly overestimate my ability.
I mean, that's the other piece is that like you want to, especially as a ranged DPS, you want to kite and like range out your opponents if you can. So you start from as far away as you can and you attack them, and then hopefully you kill the first one of those two in the example you just gave before it gets to you and starts hitting you, and then the second one you can go after. If you're playing as a Demonology Warlock, also make sure you have your purple tanky void thingy pet out, so that you can have it be the tank, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, he's there. He does what he can.
Oh dear. Okay.
I mean, but it's just certain situations, right? Like most of the time I'm fine. I did have a particular problem with some delves. I find that it's weird. Like the pet mechanics are weird, and I've always found pet mechanics to be frustrating. Where like if my tank pet, right, gets stuck in a mechanic, and then he just instantly dies, right? Because he's not supposed to be in that mechanic, which is weird because like in some cases, like certain frontals don't affect your pet because you can't control where your pet is,
right?
And then other things like AoE damage or something that like is 360 around the boss will affect your pet way more than it should, and then they die if you're not paying really, really close attention. So I don't know. I'm just learning some of those things, particularly the intricacies of what things do and don't affect your pet. And that is, I mean, that's why I've died a couple times to like bosses in delves, because like the frontal is like, oh, a frontal doesn't even hurt my pet, but then a different kind of attack will just instantly down them, which I'm not ready for. And then they start attacking me, and then I die, right? Like that's kind of the thing there. So, and I guess I'm also not playing it super safe. I have Bran as a healer, not as a tank. I don't know if that's super safe or if that, again, I don't know. It's just different. It's very, very different. And I guess I probably said this a while ago. I'm continually impressed with how different each class plays in World of Warcraft. Like you look at they're all the same. They're all the same. Like it's just World of Warcraft. How different could they be? No, every class plays so differently. And that's kind of incredible.
Yeah, they are very different, but I've also found that once you have spent some time with a class, your muscle memory for that class gets really baked in, and you can switch between them, and like what buttons you expect to be hitting to do different things given the certain class, or at least I do. I don't often find that I'm like hitting tank buttons while I'm on my mage or something like that. I don't know if that's the same for you, but I feel like sometimes if I play something after not playing it for a long time, I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm naturally hitting these buttons and I know what I'm doing. Like this is cool. So it is, they're all different, but they all are I don't know, obtainable in your brain.
Yes, I agree. I definitely have way more muscle memory on my Demon Hunter still, like as a tank, as playing that class, where the buttons are, doing them naturally. I don't have that on my Warlock. So that could be part of it. But because when I got back on my Demon Hunter as playing tank, I was like, oh, I'm a little uncomfortable. I'm not sure. It probably took me 30 minutes and I was right back into it. On my Warlock, I'm still not 100% back into it, but I'm better than, after 2 hours, you're like, okay, I'm kind of starting to get it.
Yeah.
What I'm realizing the most, playing a little bit of Season 3, kind of hanging out, watching the news, being kind of engrossed in the World of Warcraft community, atmosphere, media. And I remember this from Shadowlands. I remember this from Dragonflight. And most certainly I remember this from The War Within. But I have found that I like World of Warcraft so much leading up to and the first couple of weeks of a new expansion. That's what I enjoy. I think I remember telling you how much I enjoyed playing World of Warcraft pre-release into The War Within. None of the story content was out. There were some of those. It was like that leveling thing going on. And I'm very excited for the new expansion, only because I know that there's a pre-patch coming. There's that content beforehand coming that's really repeatable, that's really good for leveling up. And then there's all that new story coming, which they have been doing a very good job at. So that's good. Shadowlands sucked, but Dragonflight was okay, and then the War Within was pretty good. And I'm really excited for the story of Midnight as well. So, the seasons have been fine. Each season comes with a little bit of content. There was a big twist in season 3 that I want you to experience, because I had some words to say literally out loud because of my I can't give it away. There's a twist in season 3. You should play it or watch it. And the story's just been good. I don't know. And I'm very excited for the next expansion. I'm hoping maybe this is a time for us to put in some predictions. I'm thinking, based on the thing that they've released, right, on when 11.2 just came out, or season 3 kind of starts on Tuesday, or has started this past Tuesday. Then there's 11.2.5 with a little bit, and then there's a little bit of story in 11.2.7, like, some mid-season story or whatever. And then on their roadmap, they actually show the housing update a little bit after 11.2.7, prior to the launch of the new expansion. And that's kind of been leaked or rumored that like some of the housing stuff is going to come out prior to the next expansion. I'm guessing that the next expansion is coming out Q1 2026.
Q1? Like January, February, March?
I like end of February is my guess right now.
Wow.
I could be totally hyping it up and totally wrong, but I think it's Q1. I think there's not going to be a season 4.
I disagree. I think there will be a season 4, and it will be like the other season 4s have been, and it'll be kind of lame, and they will roll into the expansion in like May or June of 2026. That's my prediction. Okay.
All right. I mean, I could be hyping, but I think, I don't know. I think it's not out of the realm of possibility to say that in early 2026, I mean, I guess both of us are early 2026 because it's before the halfway point, but yeah, I'm hoping Q1. I'm really, really hoping Q1.
Yeah. I just don't think they're going to be that nice to us. I think they're going to go further. Because like for them, they can, if they stretch it out more, right, they get more sub revenue, and they get more like, the more the hype train and all of that stuff. I don't know.
I mean, remember what they said, though? I mean, I got to go pull that video. I've got to go pull the video where they said, the release cycle is going to be much shorter.
That's true. Chris Metzen did say that on stage at BlizzCon.
And the War Within released August 26th, 2024. Let's just do some date math here. 18 months past August 2024 would put us in late February 2026.
All right. Well, then
that's
maybe
18 months. 20 months would put us, April. So I think because 24 months, like that's 2 years. That's not any faster than anything we've seen before, right?
True.
Generally 2 years being kind of the release cycle. So I don't know. I'm really hoping that for that 18-month timeline, maybe 20 months, but I'm really hoping for that really tight, trilogy release, World Soul Saga, expansion release timeline.
All right. Well, I mean, I would be happy to be proven wrong. Let's go for February. That'd be great. But I just don't have the faith.
Are you planning or thinking about subscribing when you get back from your trip?
I am thinking about it, although I have another trip after this trip that's not too much further behind it. So life is making it difficult to commit to an MMO at the moment. But yes, I would like to. I would really like to. Maybe I just will. Maybe I'll just say, forget it. I'll just do it. And then if I could get like a couple of good days out of playing it, like that would make it worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm only going to stay stubbed for like a month or two. So
I'm well aware. I know.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be done in a month. So.
Yeah. No, we'll talk.
So then if you got a lot of break, like you start, stop, what are you filling the time with?
Yeah. So this has been tricky. DK has been a good thing to kind of pick up and put down, which has been nice, as previously mentioned. But I also, this weekend, as we're recording, this past weekend, I have picked up a brand new game that I had a little bit of knowledge about, and then played the demo, and then bought the game. Just a little side note, demos work for games that are good and fun.
Yep.
They somehow demos just disappeared for like 15 years, and now with Steam Next Fest and stuff, they're starting to come back. And if the game is good and you put out a demo and I play the game and I like it, I probably will buy the game. So I just wanted to put that out there in the world. Like, demos work. Now, if your game's not good, demos work the other way, right? Where they convince me that I don't need to buy the game because I've done everything I wanted to do in the demo. But all of this is to say, I bought the game and have played a decent amount of The King is Watching. The game is called The King is Watching. And it is a pixel art RTS roguelite game with kind of not quite deck builder aspects to it as well. So it's basically they made it for me.
Okay.
Have you heard anything about this game?
I have seen a little bit, and I am currently searching it. But I had not heard about this prior to you talking about it.
Okay. Yes. So this game basically is a little... I don't know if you would call it like an auto battler. It's not really an auto battler, but like you have a little town, like a little city or whatever, and you're playing as the king, and you have these squares. You have like a grid of squares where you can build buildings, and the buildings produce things, right? So it's a little bit of a resource management thing where you have these buildings and they make stuff on like a little time schedule. So it's a little bit like an incremental game too, which is another one of my favorite genres. So the numbers go up, but then you also have every so often you have waves of enemies that come to try to attack your castle or whatever. And so you have to build like an army. You have to build, units and stuff, which come from your buildings and stuff. And this all sounds pretty vanilla so far, but the mechanic, the trick to it is that you as the king have this thing called your gaze. And what that is just a little outline on the map, on the grid, that you can move, you the player can move with your mouse, so that you highlight certain buildings, and the buildings only do stuff while they're highlighted. So they're only producing their resources, they're only making their units, they're only doing whatever they do while you have them highlighted. So that's where it becomes a resource management game in the time sense, like in the you're kind of like time splitting what things are active, not just in a like resources like I don't have enough lumber or whatever.
I'm watching the demo here, or I'm watching the trailer here while you're talking. What determines like how many squares you can look at once, or like how large your gaze is?
You start off with like 3 squares in like a little L shape, and then, or at least, and I've only played it for a couple hours, so this is what I know from what I've played. You start off with a little L, and then at a certain point, you can spend some resources to upgrade your gaze, and it makes it so that it's in a square. And then you can add one more square to it, and then there's another final upgrade that gives you basically a 2x3 rectangle. But I think it looks like from the trailer there might be other gaze shapes that come from other kings that you can play as.
Okay, so this is the meta progression though. You don't upgrade your gaze during a round.
No, you do. You start off with 3. You can go to
okay.
You start off with 3 squares. You can go to 4 and 5 and 6 squares basically, or maybe it's only 5. I don't know. But yes, you can change your gaze's shape basically while the run is happening, and you can rotate the gaze too. So you can it's a little bit of Tetris, right? So you can kind of like align things on your grid, and you can like rotate the gaze around and all that stuff.
This does look pretty good. I will admit this looks pretty clever.
Yeah, the regular price for it on Steam is like $15, and I got it on Humble with the 20% discount for like 11 or 12. So it was, and I've already played it like 3 hours, I think, maybe 4.
How'd you find this game? I hadn't even. It just came out in June, but like we're just randomly.
I'm pretty sure I saw a like write up of it on Ars Technica, maybe. Or something, because I think there's a person on Ars Technica's staff that like has my taste in these kinds of games.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that that's where I saw it originally. They did a little review of it. There's another game that they mentioned that's on my list of things that I'm kind of waiting and watching for called Drop Duchy, which is like a Tetris deck building roguelike thing, also set in kind of a medieval time. And that one looks really good. I can't really speak to it because I haven't played much, or I haven't played any of it, but that one I think can actually be played on a Steam Deck. The King is Watching, unfortunately, requires a mouse, and so you can't really play it very well on a Steam Deck, which is a real bummer. But I think it would lend itself really well to playing it on an iPad, or I think it would also lend itself really well to adding controller controls to it, because I think you could do it if you put a little effort into it. But I don't know if they're working on that or not.
The iPad is a good idea. I could see this on an iPad, like a touch surface.
It would go so well on a touch device. Yeah, it would be great.
I agree.
I mean, even the Steam Deck with touch would probably also work. I should think about that. I should try that. Or, an Xbox ROG Ally X, whatever. This game also fits perfectly into my sensibilities for watching a YouTube video or TV or something while playing this game, because it has a little bit of waiting. I mean, it has you can speed it up and all of that, but it's the kind of game where you don't have to pay constant attention to it. You have to pay consistent attention, but you don't have to pay constant attention. It's no rotation based World of Warcraft kind of thing. So that's also been appealing to me.
I can't do that. I can't. You're very good at it, but I can't do that. How do you decide, and maybe this is a topic for another episode, you have so many of these now. You have so many of these, not tiny, like good indie, just a couple minutes, play around, roguelike. How do you decide which game to play? Why sit down and play The King is Watching instead of, say, more of the Luck Be a Landlord?
Oh, well, they're totally different games, obviously. Actually, I think what it is that I get into little loops of the games, and I play them for a little while, and then I put them down for several months, and then they kind of just go into the pile and go into the rotation a little bit. And then I'll come back to it and say, oh yeah, I remember having fun with that game. Let me play that a little bit more. And then maybe I'll get sucked into it for another, weekend or whatever. They're small enough that you can, and there's also not narrative, that you can kind of pick them up and put them down and not feel like you've completely lost, all semblance of what you were doing, which is the problem with a narrative based game like, Clair Obscur or something like that. If you didn't play that for 6 months, you would have to basically start over, which is my problem on a lot of PlayStation type games. But these kind of games are round based, and they're not heavily story based, so that you can kind of jump in and jump out. They don't feel like games that need to be finished.
Okay. All right. Yeah, fair. That's a good point.
Something with a narrative story, you're I want to roll credits on that. I'm not even sure if it's possible to roll credits on this game.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. I found the article. It was from Ars Technica. We will put a link in the show notes.
Do you follow that author? Do you follow that person that writes? Do you get a notification every time they review a game?
No, I do not. I just have them just the general site in my RSS reader, so I see their stuff go by.
Okay. I mean, that'd be maybe detrimental to your wallet. Every time they post something, you're all right, I got to read what they posted.
I did just click on their name on Ars Technica. The author is Kyle Orland, and he seems to be kind of the gaming guy. He is the senior gaming editor at Ars. And so he had articles about, Donkey Kong Bonanza and the ROG Xbox Ally and the Switch 2 launch and all of that stuff, in addition to The King is Watching and all of that. So he definitely does have, sensibilities that align with my interests. And I do tend to read most of the game-related articles that Ars Technica posts. Do you follow, individual people? Do you have notifications set up for particular authors? I guess you do it with YouTube subscriptions.
Skillup. Skillup is the answer.
Oh, okay.
And I don't always agree with him in his review of a game, but I really like how he talks about games and how he reviews them, but I don't always agree. He looks for the most in every game. It has to be compelling and innovative, or it has to offer something different. And sometimes I just want the same old, right? It's okay. It's not. you don't always have to be like the newest and best and most innovative thing. Sometimes you just have to be a little bit of a spin, and I don't think he sees it that way. So he and I don't always agree, but I do follow him as a reviewer quite closely. I haven't found the reviewer that matches my taste perfectly. And I know that's nearly impossible, but I haven't found one that every time they review a game, I agree with their assessment. It's interesting, though, that ours reviewed this game or has an article about this game. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. They do that kind of stuff every once in a while where they'll get like some small game. I mean, they also had I was searching, they had an article about Luck Be a Landlord at one point too. A long time ago, obviously, because that game is old. But yeah, they were the ones that did Drop Duchy. They were the ones that, they did this. Like, yeah, they have good stuff. I
don't know that I mentioned this during the Battlefield 6 segment, but it is free and on beta right now. So I'm going to go download it. That's what I'm going to do.
All right. I could be convinced to push the download button. Whether or not I play it is a whole nother story.
I mean, do you have like 100 gigs free?
Well, maybe.
I don't know how big it is, but it's I'm sure it's huge. So, and then I don't know. This king is what you have me searching Steam for all of these games now. Like, I was on The King is Watching, and now I'm looking at this game called Is This Seat Taken?
Oh,
which just came out a couple days ago.
Yes,
yeah,
it is on the phone.
So I'm like, oh, it's on the phone too. Okay. I'm just in that world right now on Steam. You know, you kind of like more like this and everything like that. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but none of those things are World of Warcraft, though.
No, that's true. And that's like really what it's up against right now. So, I guess I have a decision to make. In any case, I have to go, right? Because I can't record a podcast and play games at the same time. That'd be a good challenge for you.
Oh, to record a podcast and play a game at the same time?
Yeah, like playing the King is Watching or something like that, and recording a podcast at the same time. I couldn't do it.
Could probably do it. My coherence might suffer, but I think I could do it.
I just wouldn't participate. I would either do one or the other. That's how I always try, and I always start, and then I end up just doing one thing or the other. Like, if I'm watching a show and playing World of Warcraft, and the show gets interesting, I just simply stop moving in World of Warcraft. And not even interesting. That's unfair. Once I choose one of the two things to focus on, the other one just totally gets lost. If I choose World of Warcraft to focus on, I literally couldn't tell you what's happening in the show.
Wow.
So, in any case, I'm going to go do something and not multitask. If you want to get in contact with us and share an author, a reviewer, I don't know, something, or if you're playing the Battlefield 6 beta and you have feedback and how you feel about it and what you're thinking, particularly if you played Battlefield 2, 3, and or 4, I'd be interested in that. You can get in contact with us by joining our Discord at discord.pnapodcast.com.
If you want to find any of our older episodes or read our show notes, where we'll have a couple of links to those stories we talked about, you can visit our website at pnapodcast.com. That's P, the letter N, the letter A, podcast.com.
If you're enjoying the show, we would love if you could share it with some others that might enjoy it as well.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you next time. So, Jason, yesterday we were talking and you said, I got to go. I'm going to Micro Center. And I said, why? And you said, I'll tell you on the show. So here we are on the show. I'm very curious what's going on.
Do you have a store in your life, like a bricks and mortar store, where every time you walk in, you have to go down every aisle?
Every aisle? Ooh. No, but I definitely do have certain routes I will take at certain stores so that I go down all of the aisles I care about. That's the same.
Some people are like this with Costco, where they're like, I have to go down every aisle. I have to see what there's in stock. I have to see what's new. I have to see what's seasonal. I'm like this with grocery stores because I can't find anything in grocery stores. So I just start from one end and walk all the way to the other end, down every single aisle. But Micro Center is the store where I walk in and I want to walk down every aisle. I do this at hardware stores too. Because sometimes it's not about like looking for a specific thing. Sometimes it's just what's out there, what's new, what's on the shelves, what kind of things are people advertising. And almost every aisle in Micro Center, I am interested in some way. Like we walked down an aisle and my brother was there and he goes, it's just cords and wires. And I was like, yeah, but look at all of them. There's so many different kinds. Like there's this to this, there's this, they're still selling this. And like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's so good. It's so amazing. And they don't have many of these kinds of stores anymore because you just buy everything on Amazon. But they have everything at Micro Center, from building a full computer to a bunch of monitors, to TVs, to racing rigs, to flight simulator rigs, to 3D printers, to, just all of your networking gear. It's just so good. It's an education to walk through the store.
Yeah, I do the same kind of thing there. Whenever I go to Best Buy, I don't go down every single aisle, but I will always go to, they have like a PC gaming area, the place where they sell like mouse and keyboard, like gaming mice and keyboards and like headsets. And they have a few components and stuff. That one's always interesting to me because I think it's interesting to see what they have on the floor for PC building, which has actually been growing in the last, 5 to 10 years. I bought my most recent case like from Best Buy. Like I did an online order pickup and I got it from my store. And like they have like some keycaps and switches and stuff. They have like for mechanical keyboards. They have just a couple of weird things. They have some iFixit stuff there now, so like you can get the iFixit kit like from Best Buy. Usually they only have like one or two, but like they have them. You can get, obviously graphics cards and RAM and SSDs and stuff. They have them and locked up in a little case. But I like to always just go over to that area and just kind of survey like what is available in store at Best Buy whenever I happen to be there. I'll also tend to walk down the aisle for like the different games. So like I'll walk down the PlayStation aisle and walk down the Nintendo aisle, mostly looking for stuff that's on clearance. Like if they have any like, oh, cool, Switch 1 controllers that they have too many of and they're putting them on clearance or whatever. I want to know that. It doesn't usually happen, but sometimes you get a deal. I also do this with Target. I go to the electronics. There's always an end cap with clearance for the electronic stuff. There is almost never anything there that's worth anything, but occasionally you find a really good deal.
Yeah, the only thing I can describe is it's that electronics aisle at Target, but the entire store is like that.
Oh, I've been to a Micro Center. Yeah.
It's amazing. I love it. We ended up buying not very much. My brother bought a 5080, but he knew he was going there to buy a 5080. He could have bought it online, but it's nice to buy it there. And we ended up buying a label maker.
Ooh.
But I saw so much. I almost bought a 3D printer. I almost bought like a USB hub. I've purchased speakers from there. What I was really hoping to see, though, Chris, and I didn't get to see, is I think 2 episodes ago, we talked about those glasses.
Oh, yes. The X-Real and the
X-Real and the Vitcher or whatever, the VITURE, I think they're called. I didn't see them there. Maybe I missed them. I don't think they have them, but I was hoping to experience those because I wanted to put some on and just see what they were like. Because I don't think I'm going to, I just don't know that I'm going to be able to spend like $500-$600 on those without seeing them first.
That's the kind of thing, and I don't know if they have it, but that is the kind of thing that like I could see there being a demo display at something like a Best Buy, even if X-Real is like big enough of a deal to have, placement in those stores. Because I definitely have seen like the MetaQuest as a try-onable thing in a Best Buy before.
Yeah. I haven't been to a Best Buy in a long time. I could go check it out. I could go see, but I could agree with you. I don't know that they're big enough, but if they did, I would totally go try them on. Like I just need that experience. I need that. What is it actually like?
Yeah, it doesn't look like they do have them in store just based on a quick search, but maybe yours has one.
In any case, I wish there was Micro Center closer. It is about an hour drive from where I am. It's a pleasant drive because I get to do it in my electric vehicle and I love my car, but it's not something you can do every day. I would spend so much more money if there was a Micro Center within 15 minutes of my house. I would do so many. There's soldering stuff. There's LED stuff. There's, they have like, the maker stuff. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the closest Micro Center to me is like half a day's drive. So you're doing better than I am. Yeah.
They're like IKEAs.
They are.
I mean, people,
yes.
Like where's your closest IKEA? That's not my question. My question is, what's the closest Micro Center?
Yes, I wish they would get something closer to me, but they don't.
So that's my story. It's not a great story, but it's, it was my pilgrimage to Micro Center for this quarter. I'm trying to go more often. I'm trying to go like once, like two, 3 times a year is generally what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, congratulations on your pilgrimage to Micro Center. And also congratulations for not buying a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, not spending everything. Yeah, thanks.
Yes, exactly.